back like we never left. It's Stef from Double Move Sports. Just had to jump on here, man. I've been seeing a lot of nonsense out there on the timeline lately. I can't think of a team better suited right now to go out and sign a proven stud wide receiver one free agent this offseason. And I'm seeing a lot of, on Twitter, guys are saying, what team needs to sign Allen Robinson this offseason, or Kenny Golladay, or Chris Godwin, right? These big free agents that are hitting the open market. There's a few other ones in there as well. We'll see if their teams end up re-signing them. I think we know Allen Robinson's gone from Chicago. It seems like he's wanted out of there forever. Kenny Galladay's a little bit upset. Can't get himself an extension. Pretty much ended up, this year as a wash for him as far as 2020 goes. But think about it, man. There's not a better landing spot than the Baltimore Ravens and a stud wide receiver one. The Baltimore Ravens are a team that should be in win-now mode. They have a great defense. They have an electric quarterback. Only quarterback to ever go over 1,000 rushing yards on back-to-back seasons or multiple times in his career. Super efficient as a passer. I know there's stupid narratives out there saying Lamar Jackson can't throw the football, which is just, if you're throwing that out there as a take, you don't know what you're talking about. You're obviously not watching the games, so I'm not going to trust your opinion. But you look at some of the trends around the league this year for these developing quarterbacks, it's been a huge deal for them to have a stud alpha wide receiver one that can help them develop. I mean, look at Stephon Diggs joining the Bills and helping Josh Allen develop. Josh Allen took a massive step up this year, and I know, yes, he improved his hip motion and throwing mechanics, whatever, but you can't look at what he did this season and say Stephon Diggs wasn't a pivotal part of that. Look at Arizona, right? Bringing in DeAndre Hopkins, helping Kyler Murray continue to develop as a passer, opening up that offense. They had some great plays this year, incredible plays. Unfortunately, Kyler got hurt towards the end. I'm a big Kyler fan. But Hopkins was tremendous for his development, both for this year and I think long-term, building his confidence. Look at Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has a bona fide wide receiver one that he can just pepper with targets as a rookie. That will only help you continue to get better. And the Ravens need to go out and get Lamar Jackson his stud. Willie Snead was seemingly like they're one of their top wide receivers. He's an unrestricted free agent this offseason. I don't think they should re-sign him. Dez Bryant doesn't have a deal past this year. He's not a game-breaking wide receiver. Stop with all that nonsense. Guys coming off the couch. I actually do think he could be a decent role player somewhere, but he's not going to be a stud alpha wide receiver one that Lamar Jackson needs to develop. Marquise Brown, he's not getting it done. I think he can be a fine field stretcher, kind of boom bust number 2 wide receiver, which is pretty much what he is right now behind Mark Andrews. Man, if your wide receiver one is Mark Andrews, there's a problem there. Mark Andrews is great. We all love Mark Andrews for fantasy. He helps the Ravens tremendously. He's great. But is that a guy you want as your top receiving option on the team? A guy who's not really going to get you yards after the catch. He's a big body, red zone, contested catches type guy, and he's great. But if they were able to bring in Allen Robinson onto this team, it's going to be incredible. And it doesn't even have to be Allen Robinson. I don't think they need to go out and get somebody in the draft, even though this is a stud wide receiver draft class coming to the year, unless they can get a Jamar Chase, which they're not going to have an early enough draft pick to do that. I don't think it makes a ton of sense for them to bring a guy in. They just drafted Devin Duvernay. They don't need a developmental wide receiver to come in. They don't need a guy who they're going to ask a lot for him to step in right away in his first year and dominate and help this team win a Super Bowl. like Lamar Jackson, I'm already talking about, yes, I think he's a very good passer. Is he elite? No. Is he Russell Wilson with beautiful, deep dime bomb throws? No, that's not what he is. But can he take a step up? I think so. We do see him hit Marquise Brown on a lot of these deep throws. And listen to this. Lamar Jackson in his entire career in the red zone, his touchdown to interception ratio in the red zone is 46-0. If you get Lamar Jackson into the red zone, worst case scenario, you get 3 points, you get a field goal from Justin Tucker. That's worst case scenario if he doesn't score. He's not throwing interceptions. I guess maybe a fumble. Maybe. How much, how often does that really happen? 46-0 touchdown to interception ratio in his entire career in the NFL. Get this man a stud wide receiver one. I don't care who it is. Galladay, A-Rob, Godwin. I'm not going to say Will Fuller. I don't think he fits. He's kind of redundant with Hollywood Brown there. Corey Davis, no. He's a wide receiver. He's a number 2 for a team. They need to go and get this kid a stud alpha wide receiver one. And I'm putting my flag in the ground, making a stance on this, man. Whenever I see these Twitter posts asking for, top landing spots for any of these big names, Baltimore Ravens, Baltimore Ravens, Baltimore Ravens, Baltimore Ravens. I can't think of a better landing spot in a team that needs to sign a proven wide receiver one than the Baltimore Ravens. Help Lamar Jackson develop. I know we wanted it to be Hollywood Brown. It's not Hollywood Brown. I mean, Hollywood Brown this year, 100 targets, 58 receptions, 769 yards, 8 touchdowns. Fine year. We loved him last year because of the touchdowns. I was all on the Marquise Brown hype train. Thought he added some weight in the offseason, but a guy with a 58% catch rate, with his stature, his size, I mean, he's literally just a outside field stretcher. He's not able to get open at the line of scrimmage. If you press him, you can push him around, get him off balance. He's fine. He's a fine number 2, but they need a stud to come in here, help Lamar, take this offense to the next level next year. They already have a great defense when everybody's healthy. I think there's still going to be a problem. A lot of people are sleeping on the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs this year. We'll see. I mean, it's unfortunate for them. They got to match up with the Titans in the first round here. But if they can beat the Titans, I mean, they're going to be a problem for a lot of teams. I think they could actually beat the Titans here. I'm not going to count them out at all because the way this offense is built, what Lamar Jackson's doing, you're going to see it. You're going to see that bash play that they run where Lamar Jackson has that open. It's not even a read option. It's a designed run play. He's going to take off down the middle. That's what this whole offense is based around. But if they can develop the passing game a little bit more, it's just going to take this offense to a whole new level. Lamar Jackson's going to be on a whole new level. Guy's about to get, $170 million once he goes to the bargaining table. I don't know when that's going to be. Maybe it's this year, and this whole take is kind of void because, the cap space isn't there. I don't know specifically what their cap space is. Even so, even if I did, doesn't really matter when we got the Saints at negative. But I cannot think of a better landing spot for a stud wide receiver one than the Baltimore Ravens. Get Lamar Jackson, his Stephon Diggs, his Keenan Allen, his DeAndre Hopkins. Well, that's it for today, guys. Appreciate y'all hopping on here, checking out this just quick one. Was fired up about this one. Was seeing some cap on the timeline. Had to hop on, get the mics hot, and just drop this take here. Appreciate you guys. If you like what we do here, like and a sub. Always appreciated. This offseason we are getting into. I just had a conversation with Alex. This whole year for us is going to be about increasing our dynasty content and output, becoming better dynasty players, and getting everybody ready for 2021 seasons. But guys, I'm so hyped. We got playoff football, postseason football. Every game matters. Every play is going to get overanalyzed. Every overreaction possible is going to show up on the Twitter timeline. But I appreciate y'all listening and watching. We'll see you later this week. Peace.